Let's face it, we live in a world that consistently reminds us of who we are not rather than who we are. Now, studies have found that who we are at the age of 6 is who we were always meant to be. So, when you really think about it, ask your parent if you have no memory of this. Most of us don't, so don't feel bad. And ask your mom, ask your dad, who was I? Quite often, my parents send me videos of myself when I was a kid, and I just love being in front of the camera. I was so just proud of who I was. I was so comfortable in my skin. I was funny. I was silly. I loved talking to everybody. And a lot of that has changed over the years because of something called projection psychology. And that is when people impose themselves and their limiting beliefs and their own insecurities onto you. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. And today's topic is all about low self-esteem. And if you click this video, more than likely, it's something you're struggling with. But here's a little news for you. Everybody done struggled with low self-esteem at some point in their lives. So don't get it twisted. Don't be intimidated by the guy that walks in the room and he's loud, or the girl that walks in and
she's just opening up her mirror and she's just admiring her beauty and she thinks she's God's gift to earth.
well, she is. We all are, right? And sometimes we assume that we're the only ones who are struggling with self-esteem issues. That's a lie. Some of us just pretend well. Now, low self-esteem is when you do not think highly of yourself. Okay, you struggle with your confidence. And a lot of times, this is all stemming from how others have projected themselves or their views or their opinions onto you. Now, here are some signs that you are currently struggling with some low self-esteem issues. One of those ways is if you are a people pleaser. Let me tell you,
I've been there.
I've been there to the point where it was crippling. I worked insanely hard to make everyone around me comfortable. I didn't want to ruffle feathers. I didn't want to invite even the possibility of being criticized. So I tried to be perfect, which also led to what? Perfectionism, which is another sign of low self-esteem. So yes, I want my work to be great. Even as I record this video, I want it to be great. I want to deliver value. And if you like what you're hearing so far, click that like button and subscribe to my channel. I would love to hear more from you. I would love for us to connect even more. Being a people pleaser, being someone who is self-critical, being someone who doubts and always questions every little move you make is so crippling and it's suffocating. It does not allow you to live life to the fullest. Okay. Now, a lot of you may be wondering, why is this happening to me? Well, I'll tell you why. You allowed what everyone else has told you about yourself to stick. You allowed it to define who you are, and you fell into it and you believed it. Let's face it, we live in a world that consistently reminds us of who we are not rather than who we are. You know, when you go down the aisles in the grocery stores, you see the magazines with people who seem to have it all put together. But now you don't even have to do that. You just go on social media. Oh, you're not thin enough. Maybe you're not even thick enough. You don't have the curves. Maybe you're not even smart enough. Hey, look at them. They get to go on vacation 3 times a year. What's wrong with me? What am I doing wrong?
Nothing.
You're doing absolutely nothing wrong other than changing how you see yourself. Now, studies have found that who we are at the age of 6 is who we were always meant to be. So when you really think about it, ask your parent if you have no memory of this. Most of us don't, so don't feel bad. And ask your mom, ask your dad, who was I? Quite often, my parents send me videos of myself when I was a kid, and I just love being in front of the camera. I was so just proud of who I was. I was so comfortable in my skin. I was funny. I was silly. I loved talking to everybody. And a lot of that has changed over the years because of something called projection psychology. And that is when people impose themselves and their limiting beliefs and their own insecurities onto you. And we fall for it. So after you ask your parents, make this your homework assignment. Who was I? You write that down and ask yourself, how far gone are you from who you truly are? Do you find yourself blaming yourself for everything? Do you find yourself walking on eggshells no matter who you're around because you got to be a people pleaser or else you might get rejected? Because maybe you were rejected as a kid. I know when I was a child, I was rejected in many ways from my own family. I felt like an outcast. I felt like a weirdo. I felt like I didn't belong. I felt like I wasn't good enough or worthy of their love. Even on social media, I started to see them disappearing from my friends list. And I thought, man, am I that unworthy of their love and their acceptance? And then I later realized that to overcome my struggles with low self-esteem, not only do I have to redefine who I am by rejecting the definition that the world gave me of who I am, I have to accept who I am, in addition to understanding all of these things were meant for my good. We need to learn to allow rejection, trauma, hurt, pain to work for us. That rejection I experienced as a child was teaching me how to be not only an overcomer, but here's the best part, to learn how to be set apart. If it wasn't from that initial rejection, would I be the person I am today? To move across the country, to move out of the country, and to still be able to thrive? I thank God for the rejection I received as a child, because it was teaching me how to be uncomfortable and comfortable in my discomfort. It also taught me how to be set apart.
So shout out to all the people that rejected me. Y'all the real MVPs.
Honestly, y'all the reason why I got the confidence I have today. I allowed every stone that was thrown at me and meant for my harm to be used for my good. I used those stones as building blocks to catapult me to my future and where I am today. And so will you. Now, I want you to do this. I want you to think about everything people said to you and about you. You know, one of the things that I remembered experiencing was being taught that it was wrong to have high energy. I was even taught that something was wrong with me, that I had some kind of mental health disorder. I was told I had ADHD,
ADD, ABCDEFG.
all of those things. And this is all from my own family, okay? I didn't have to go far to get bullied. I didn't have to cross the street. This was right at home, where it's supposed to be safe. But unfortunately, that's not the case for all of us, is it? Sometimes the war zones many of us experience is right in our homes. Sometimes it's our parents, the ones who carried us for 9 months in their wombs. Our fathers, the ones who fertilized that egg and was meant to protect us. And somehow they are the ones who hurt us. Sometimes it's our own siblings who hurt us because they project their own limiting beliefs onto you. Once again, projection psychology. Many of us, if not all of us, at some point in our lives becomes victims of it. And then what do? Do you sit there in shame? Do you continue to shrink yourself because you want to make them feel comfortable? No, we ain't doing that. Not this year. Not in 2024. Now ask yourself, you adopted their habits. And what I mean by that is they've been super critical of you. Can you imagine what they're doing to themselves and how miserable they must be? So yeah, I was taught to calm it down. One day my sister even told me, Kimberly,
Tone it down. You're too loud. You're too hyper. Learn how to keep it down.
and I said, okay. So I listened. And I was too afraid to do what I love most, like getting in front of the camera, my happy place. So I go back to who I was, the girl who loved being in front of the camera, the girl who loved talking to people, connecting with absolutely anyone. That's who I am today. I'm going back to who I was at the age of 6. So yes, I was taught to tone it down. I was taught that having all that high energy is unacceptable. It goes against societal norms. Nobody's going to want that. You got to calm it down, girl. Let me tell you, this high energy I have, this silliness I have, the inner child that lives within me that I keep alive and well, has afforded me many opportunities. The opportunity to still thrive as a military spouse who has to take care of 5 children by myself is I am honoring me and what I was put here to do. And guess what's helping me get there? That high energy that I was taught to tone down. Now, here's another thing I want you to do. I want you to not only raise self-awareness, I want you to raise self-acceptance. I'm talking radical self-acceptance. Embracing everything that makes you, you. So first, before doing that, you need to reject the opinions. I'm talking about what people said was wrong with you. It's everything that is so right about you. Maybe they called you sensitive. I know my husband was called sensitive many times in his life, so was I.
Oh, girl, you so sensitive.
We were taught that it was wrong to embrace our emotions that God gave us. We didn't view it as a strength because we were taught that it was a bad thing.
Stick your chest out. Walk in there with your head up. Don't cry. Wipe them tears off. Don't let them see you sweat.
We were taught to be fake. Now, if you are liked by absolutely everyone, then you are a fake person. It's impossible to be liked by everyone. That means you are dishonoring yourself in hopes of receiving validation and praise and acceptance from everyone else. Wouldn't it be even better to honor yourself by accepting you first? Wouldn't that be better? Wouldn't it be better to be comfortable in your skin knowing that they disliked you because you first honored yourself? Because whatever God put you here to do, you meet all the requirements. What makes you you and what you were taught was a bad thing about you is what God is the most proud of. So don't let anybody, I don't care who they are, don't let them convince you that something's wrong with you. And that goes to my next point. It's time to do some cutting. Toxic people have to go. And if you are not wanting to cut them out of your life, at the very least, limit their access to you. Now, if I were to give you a challenge and I said, hey, I'm going to give you $1,000 and you have to look on your friends list and ask yourself, who is the one person you would give that $1,000 to? Maybe that person will pop up in your head immediately, or maybe you need some time to think about it. But eventually you'll figure it out. Now, if I were to ask you to name one person you absolutely would not even give a single penny to, if you were given the opportunity, who is that person? More than likely, that person instantly popped in your head because let me tell you, the impact of negative experiences sticks. And it takes 8 to 10 things, 8 to 10 positive things to overcome the negative. Did you know that? It's interesting. But yes, the impact of our negative experiences is so much stronger. So you're going to remember how someone makes you feel. Now, after you answer that question and you think about the person you absolutely would not give that $1,000 gift to, ask yourself, are you not worth more than $1,000? Are you not a gift that continues to keep giving to the world, to everyone around you? So how dare you give yourself to that person? If they're not even worth $1,000, why are they worth you, your time, your energy, your space? Sometimes we need to eliminate the noise so that the voices of others doesn't become our voice. The inner child in you, in my case, little Kimberly, who had high energy, who loved being in front of the camera, loved talking to people. Guess what? She's back. I did the work, which is why I'm able to do what I'm doing today. And guess who else is coming back? You. I want you to think about all the bricks that was thrown at you. And I want you to use it for you rather than against you. I want you to think about everything you were taught to believe about yourself. Everything that was thrown at you, from the rejection to all of it. Think about those things and ask yourself, how can I use this for me? So remind yourself, everything that they did not see in you was everything that they first did not see in themselves. But we are no longer going to dishonor us to make anyone else feel comfortable. Now, I would love for you to join this conversation. Let me know in the comments, how has low self-esteem affected your life? And where do you think it stems from? Did it come from family? Did it come from the workplace? Did it come from school? Were you bullied? Let me know in the comment section, and let me know, what is it that you plan to do to overcome it? Are you going to no longer magnify what makes you imperfect? Or are you going to magnify what makes you great? Are you going to redefine what you were taught was your weakness and recognize it as your strengths? Please let me know, what are your plans? And let's overcome our battles with low self-esteem together. Stay tuned, take care, and God bless.